The sensor officer's hands trembled over his console. His four eyes blinked rapidly as he tried to process what the screen was showing him. Around him, the bridge of the Imperial dreadnought hummed with the usual sounds of efficiency. Officers moved between stations. The ship's massive engines pushed them through the void between stars. Everything was normal. Everything except the reading on his screen. "Commander," he called out, his voice cracking slightly. "There is something here, a ship. It just appeared at the edge of our sensor range." Commander turned from his position at the center of the bridge. He was tall, his blue skin marked with the ceremonial scars of a veteran officer. He had served the Dominion Empire for 40 cycles. He had seen 100 battles. He had crushed rebellions on a dozen worlds. Nothing surprised him anymore. "Show me," he said calmly, walking toward the sensor station. The officer pulled up the visual feed. On the screen, a small dot moved against the backdrop of stars. It was approaching their position at a steady speed. Not fast, not slow, just constant. "Run identification," ordered. The computer began its work. The Dominion Empire had records of every known vessel design in the galaxy. Their database contained millions of ship configurations from 1,000 different species. Identification usually took seconds. This time, the computer took longer. The bridge grew quiet. Other officers began to notice. They stopped their work and looked toward the sensor station. Something was wrong. They could feel it. The computer finished its analysis. The sensor officer read the result. Then he read it again. His face went pale. His hands began to shake so badly that he had to grip the edge of his console. "What is it?" demanded. The officer looked up at his commander. His eyes were wide with fear. "It is confirmed, sir. The vessel is human." The word hit the bridge like a physical blow. Silence, complete and total silence. Felt his heart stop. Both of them. For a moment, he forgot how to breathe. He stared at the screen, at that tiny dot moving through space, and felt something he had not felt in decades. Fear. "Are you certain?" he whispered. "I ran the scan 3 times, Commander. The design matches their records. The energy signature is consistent. The material composition of the hull." The officer swallowed hard. "It is definitely human." Around the bridge, officers began to panic. Some backed away from their stations. Others started praying to gods they had not thought about since childhood. One young lieutenant simply sat down on the floor and put his head in his hands. Understood their terror. Every species in the galaxy understood. The humans were supposed to be gone. 50,000 cycles ago, the humans had ruled everything. Their empire had stretched across the entire galaxy. They had technology that made the Dominion's most advanced weapons look like primitive tools. They had ships that could cross the galaxy in days. They had weapons that could destroy stars. But more than their technology, it was their nature that had made them terrifying. Humans did not fight like other species. They did not follow rules. They did not surrender. They did not accept defeat. When other empires would retreat and negotiate, humans would push forward. When other species would count their losses and withdraw, humans would double their efforts. They fought with a ferocity that no one could match. And they never forgot. The old records told stories that kept children awake at night, stories of human vengeance. One human colony had been attacked by the Federation. The humans lost 40,000 people. In response, they hunted for 200 years. They did not stop until every world was dust, every ship was debris, every citizen was dead. They erased an entire species from existence. Because of 40,000 people. The galaxy had learned to fear them, not respect, fear, pure, absolute terror. Then mysteriously the humans had disappeared. Their empire had vanished overnight. Their ships had stopped appearing in the void. Their planets had gone dark. No one knew what had happened. Some said they had destroyed themselves. Others said they had evolved beyond physical form. Most believed they had simply left, traveling to another galaxy or perhaps another universe entirely. For 50,000 cycles, the galaxy had been free of humans. New empires had risen. The Dominion had conquered hundreds of worlds. Life had continued. And now a human ship was approaching. "What do we do?" someone asked. The voice was high with panic. Forced himself to think. He was the commander. His crew was looking to him for leadership. He had to remain calm. He had to make decisions. "Bring us to full alert," he ordered. "Power all weapons. Raise shields to maximum." The crew scrambled to obey, but knew it was pointless. If the old records were accurate, their weapons would not even scratch a human vessel. Their shields would provide no protection. There was one of the most powerful ships in the Dominion fleet, and against a human ship, it might as well be made of paper. "Sir, the human vessel is changing course," the sensor officer reported. "It is heading directly toward us." Felt his blood turn cold. Speed. Unchanged, still approaching at the same velocity. It was not running, it was not speeding up, it was just coming toward them. Slowly, deliberately, like a predator that knew its prey could not escape. "Open a communication channel," said. "All frequencies." "Channel open, sir." Stepped forward. He did not know what to say. How did one address a nightmare? How did one speak to a legend? "Attention, human vessel," he began. "This is commander of the Imperial Dreadnought. We represent the Dominion Empire. We mean you no harm. We request peaceful communication." Static filled the bridge. Everyone waited. Then a response came. The voice was calm, quiet, human. "Dominion Empire. We do not have that name in our records. You are new." His throat tightened. "Yes, the Dominion rose after you left. We have been expanding for 30,000 cycles." A pause. "Expanding where?" Glanced at his navigation officer. The officer pulled up a star map and transmitted it. The map showed Dominion territory, hundreds of systems, thousands of worlds. Another pause, longer this time. "The Helios system," the human voice said. "You have claimed the Helios system." Looked at the map. Yes, the Helios system was part of their territory. It was a minor system on the edge of their space. A few small planets, nothing of great importance. "Yes," confirmed. "We colonized that system 12,000 cycles ago. Is there a problem?" The human ship did not respond immediately. "That system contains Sol. That is our home. That is where humanity was born." Every officer on the bridge stopped breathing. Felt his legs go weak. They had colonized the human. For 12,000 cycles, they had occupied the birthplace of the most terrifying species the galaxy had ever known. "We did not know," said quickly. "We found the system empty. We found no signs of habitation. We did not know it belonged to you. It will always belong to us." The communication cut off. On the sensor screen, the human ship began to accelerate, but it was not heading toward them. It was heading past them, toward Dominion space, toward the Helios system. "What do we do?" the weapons officer asked. "Do we pursue? Do we attack?" Shook his head slowly. "No, we send a message to the Imperial Council. We tell them what has happened." And then looked at the screen. The human ship was already disappearing into the distance. Such speed, such impossible speed. "Then we pray," he said. "We pray that they only want their home back. We pray that 12,000 cycles of occupation is something they can forgive." But even as he said it, remembered the old stories. They had killed 40,000 humans and been erased from existence. The Dominion had occupied the human for 12,000 cycles. What price would humanity demand for that? The message reached the Imperial Council 6 hours later. The Emperor himself read the report. His advisors stood around him in silence as he absorbed the words. "Confirm this," the Emperor ordered. His intelligence chief stepped forward. "We have already confirmed, Your Majesty. Multiple sensor networks detected the human vessel. It passed through 17 systems in the last 6 hours. It is heading directly for the Helios system. 6 hours, the Emperor repeated. 17 systems in 6 hours. Their fastest ships would take months to cover that distance. What are our forces in the Helios system? The Emperor asked. 3 million colonists, Your Majesty. A defense fleet of 40 ships. Ground forces numbering approximately 200,000. 3 million lives. The Emperor closed his eyes. 3 million of his people, and they might as well be offering themselves to a fire. Can we evacuate? The human ship will arrive in approximately 4 hours, Your Majesty. Our evacuation ships would take 3 weeks to reach the system. There is no time. The Emperor sat in silence for a long moment. Then he made a decision that would be remembered for thousands of cycles. Open a channel, he ordered. Broadcast to the human vessel. Tell them we will withdraw from the Helios system immediately. Tell them we will remove every trace of our presence. Tell them we offer compensation for our unknowing trespass. Tell them we wish only peace. The message was sent. Hours passed. The entire empire waited. Then finally, a response came. Your colonists may leave. You have one of your years to remove all evidence of your presence. The Helios system is ours. If we ever find another Dominion ship within 100 light-years of our home, we will consider it an act of war. The Emperor agreed immediately. Evacuation ships were launched. Resources were allocated. The largest emergency migration in Dominion history began. 3 million colonists would be moved. Every building would be demolished. Every satellite would be removed. Every trace of their presence would be erased. Because the alternative was unthinkable. In the weeks that followed, more human ships appeared throughout the galaxy. Not many, perhaps a few dozen, but they were everywhere. They moved through space like ghosts, silent and fast. They spoke to no one. They attacked no one. They were watching. The other empires received their own warnings. Stay out of human space. Do not approach their worlds. Do not test their patience. No one argued. No one resisted. No one was foolish enough to challenge the return of humanity. The galaxy had entered a new era. The children of Earth had come home, and everyone else would simply have to learn to live with that fact. On the bridge of his ship, Commander watched the evacuation of the Helios system. He had been reassigned to oversee the withdrawal. It was not a punishment. It was a recognition that he had done the right thing. He had not attacked. He had not escalated. He had allowed humanity to pass. Perhaps in doing so, he had saved his entire species. As the last transport left the system, took one final look at the small blue planet that had once been called Earth. It was beautiful. Even from this distance, he could see why humans would fight so hard to reclaim it. Take us home, he ordered. The turned and began its journey back to Dominion space. Behind them, the humans began to rebuild.